my name is Tim Stoddart, and in this video, I am going to show you how to properly SEO your website for your ketamine clinic. With proper SEO for a location-based ketamine clinic, you can generate a ton of phone calls, a ton of high intent phone calls, because the traffic that is coming to your website are people searching specifically for your services, and that's going to lead to a lot of sales. So let's dive right in. I'll show you how to do it. A lot of times with healthcare clinics, you find that doctors and healthcare practitioners, they're just not the best digital marketers. I'm not saying that to diss them. It's just not their skill set. And so most of the time when healthcare professionals build their own websites, it's just not done properly. And this one is done almost perfectly. There's two things that I really want to show you that they're doing well. And then there's one opportunity that I want to show you that they haven't capitalized on. And I'll show you how to build that. So the example is newlifewellnessclinic.com, and they're in Dayton, Ohio. The two main aspects for this video that we're going to focus on is the site structure. So we call these silos. And then I just want to show you like the basic fundamental SEO 101 strategies. You don't have to overcomplicate it. A lot of times people think SEO is this like hacker science, and it's not. It's really straightforward. It's about best practices and being methodical. And so right from the rip, we can see that in the title tag, ketamine therapy, Dayton, Ohio. In the H1 tag of the homepage, ketamine Spravato TMS in Dayton, Ohio. They have above the fold, I'd say there's about 100 words of decently conversational copy that does a great job of displaying the modalities, and we call these secondary keywords. So if Google is looking at your website, they can understand really quickly, like, okay, this is a ketamine clinic that serves these kinds of people. And then it takes a culmination of all of these words and puts together almost like a profile to say what it is that you do. Let's go scroll down a little bit further. Ketamine therapy in the H2 tag, right? And so I'm going to stop here just to show you these results. So we'll see that they are number 1 in the local pack, which is great. And they're number 2 organically. So I'm going to take a quick pause here and show you one other opportunity. And that is that since ketamine is not as competitive as something like addiction treatment or personal injury law, already on the first page of this search query, I see 1, 2, 3, 4 directories that they could be listed on, which they're not. I'm going to go through it all, but I just want to give the example because so many people watch my videos for directories and location-based search that even in this example, there's 4 opportunities for this business to get more leads by listing themselves in directories, and they're not taking advantage of that opportunity. So quick side quest, let's get back to the main quest. Now, look, we can go through this homepage. They've done a great job on this homepage. There's just a ton of information, a ton of secondary keywords, like Spravato, TMS. These are all secondary keywords. Social proof with the insurances, CTAs, book your consultation, CTA, another keyword in the H2. But really, it's the things that you don't see unless you're in SEO that makes all the difference. So this part right here is really, really important because this is linking out to the treatment silo. So let me stop and explain this. I used the word silo. Think of a silo quite literally as a silo on a farm, like those big tubes that all hold the same material. And the visualization really applies to SEO because what you're doing is you're creating like a vertical sequence of links and pages that all hold information basically about the same thing, right? It's like the same stuff. So right here, if you go down to treatments, you can see all of these treatment pages, right? And all of these treatment pages are also linked on the home page. So I just clicked a random one. I clicked OCD. Okay, so now OCD are all put together through the root domain, obviously, but then they're all linked together on the page as well because there's links here that connect all of the pages together in the silo. So this one is all about OCD, and this is OCD treatment. This is subtle, but very, very important because this is how people are going to find ketamine secondary searches for what it is that they're looking for. It's not it's not as simple as just ranking number one for ketamine treatment, right? Like that's obviously a big thing to do. But the real way to build a healthcare business through SEO is to get all of these like smaller search queries and like squeeze all the opportunities possible out of these queries. So I haven't done this. I doubt it's going to be number one just because there's still a lot of room to grow on this website. But if I search ketamine for addiction treatment, so the homepage is number one, and then here it is. Here's the secondary page. And then look at this. Boom, another directory. So this is perfect. This is like really, really well done. Let's take another look at these silos. So this is your ketamine silo, not your treatment silo, not your medical silo, not your therapy silo. I realize that these are just drop downs, but the way that these pages are linked together is what makes them silos. So let's look at nasal spray. So this is a missed opportunity right here because this doesn't say anything about Dayton, Ohio, and it should. It's just like really basic 101 stuff. So this is actually another perfect example, right? In this therapy drop down, in this therapy silo, ketamine assisted psychotherapy. So really, it's another missed opportunity because although it is SEO'd in the title tag for ketamine assisted therapy Dayton, Ohio, you can tell because if you hover over this right here, you can see it in the H1 tag. There's nothing for Dayton, Ohio. And in the copy, there's nothing for Dayton, Ohio. Okay, so the homepage still ranks, which is good. That just speaks to the power of the website. But really, you can see that that particular page doesn't rank anywhere. And if they did it properly, this search query would actually bring up this page. So I'm not even knocking it because they're still ranking number one. And the reason they're ranking number one is just because of the culmination of all of the good choices they made. But in like a perfect world, all of these secondary pages with all of these different long tail keywords would also be ranking number one. And this is how they can really, really kill it. Okay, so one more thing I want to focus on is their NAP. Again, this is like a subtle thing, but if I hover my mouse over right here and you see 7901 Schatz Point Drive, Suite B, Dayton, Ohio, this is called your NAP. So this is the address. And obviously you want to have the address on it, but the fact that they linked to it really, really helps them. And this is just such an easy missed opportunity because basically what they're doing is they're connecting the website to their Google business profile, which is giving a signal to Google saying like, yes, we actually are who we say we are, right? So if I click on here, you can see that this is their address, right? And so the fact that this NAP is linked on the top and is linked on the footer gives Google more confidence that this is the business that says they are at this location. And with that, now that they've SEO'd their Google business profile and they have 4.9 stars with 45 reviews. So let's actually just take a look at the profile itself. Because of that, the address in the Google business profile matches the address on the website. This simple signal is such a game changer. And I can't even tell you how many people screw this up. All right, so let's finish up by talking about the Google business profile itself. You know, as we gave the example, I'll just do this again on another window. So if you remember, we did this search, Ketamine Clinic, Dayton, Ohio, and although the website was number 2 organically, it was number 1 in the local pack. And in most cases, the local pack is going to generate more phone calls than the website. The website is going to give you more opportunities because you can rank for theoretically infinite keywords on the website. You can only rank for a couple keywords on the Google business profile, but the Google business profile is still a huge opportunity. So let's see what they're doing well here. This is such an easy and missed opportunity. It's such an easy opportunity, and it's like such a missed opportunity that almost every healthcare clinic screws up. So with Google Business, you got to remember that this is most of the time made for like local merchants, you know, coffee shops or bakeries or consignment shops or small clothing stores, whatever. And so Google wants to give those people an opportunity to list their products. But this is a service business. So you don't have products to list, but you do have pages. And so the fact that they are listing all of these pages and then linking to those websites, you know, right? This is in that treatment silo that we were talking about. So depression treatment, Dayton, Ohio. They SEO'd this page properly as well. Ketamine for depression, Dayton, Ohio. So if we Google this, I'm sure we'll see some good results. There they are. Again, this is the homepage, but it's it's complicated how Google knows to send them to the homepage instead of the service page. But if you didn't have that service page, this probably wouldn't be here. And the reason why this page is doing well is because it has good on-site SEO, but also because this signal is linked through in the Google business profile. And then we'll wrap up with just some basic stuff. You know, they got 4.9 stars with 45 reviews. That's pretty good. It looks like they have a decent amount of content. They could add a lot more content here in their description, but they did do a good job of, you know, ketamine and vitamin infusions, Dayton, Ohio, Spravato, Exomine, TMS, peptide therapy, right? So they have a lot of the keywords and secondary keywords. And then lastly, they are posting content. So all of these posts, you can actually SEO all of these posts as well, and you'll generate a lot of clicks and a lot of phone calls if you do it properly. But even more than like over SEOing these posts is just the fact that they are posting and they have consistent signals going to this profile. I can spend a lot more time really breaking down this website, but I'm intentionally keeping it kind of high level because I want to show that you don't need to be overly sophisticated with your SEO to generate real results for your ketamine clinic. You really don't. You need basic site structure and organization in your drop downs and your silos. You need best practices with SEO, with keywords in the title tag, keywords in the H1s, keywords in the H2s, secondary keywords in the copy, like well-written content, easily organized content that a reader can absorb and figure out what it is that they're looking at. And then you need basic SEO on your Google business profile. So that means your description. That means your product/service pages. That means your reviews. They can do a whole lot better with their photos with their Google business profile, but they really don't have to. If you have any more questions, please leave a comment in this video. Please smash that subscribe button. I appreciate all of you guys so much, and I'll talk to you next week on the next video. All right, see ya.